So those of you who have been accepted, to all of you who have been accepted, Mazal Tov, congratulations. We are very, very proud of you. We're very excited to have you, to welcome you to our family. This year was the hardest exam that there ever was. It was about 1 in 9, 1 in 10 were accepted in the places. And the level of the exam was set extremely high. And those of you who achieved, wow, you really achieved. There are some people who came close, and we're very sorry we can't accept everybody. We have a limited number of places. But for those of you who made it, wow, you did very, very well.
I can say that one concern of the students who got accepted, but in general, is the difficulty of studies in Charles I. I have to say, from my point of view, working and recruiting students from several places in the world, Charles I is by far the most popular university. But specifically this year, for many reasons, students are concerned about the difficulty of studies in Charles I. How do you, what's your point of view on this?
So I think it's a very good position or place to start. I don't think any of you would expect medical studies or dental studies to be easy. We know that studying medicine and dentistry are some of the hardest subjects at all to study. Our aim at the university, at the faculty, is to help you achieve the maximum of your potential. Our admissions process is very complicated, and it's set in such a way to admit those students who we believe are able to successfully complete their studies, and successfully complete their studies 6 years after they started for medicine or 5 years after they started for dentistry. So we want you to succeed. You are all adults. We will treat you as adults. Our aim at the medical school is not just to teach you medicine or dentistry. Our aim is to educate you for life. University is life education. So it's to give you those skills to not just succeed at medical school, but succeed in life beyond. It takes maturity, it takes dedication, it takes hard work. It also takes relaxing. You've got to go out and enjoy the beauties of Prague and the life in Prague. It's total freedom. It's a very good life here. Interestingly, we have a record number of Israeli students wanting to stay in Czech Republic this year after graduating, which is a sad state for Israel, but great for Czech Republic. The studies are not easy. We're not going to pass the exams for you. We are an ancient university, 675 years old, 10th oldest medical school, and we're ranked in the top 1% of all medical schools globally. We maintain that ranking, that reputation because of you who will be our students and our graduates afterwards. Not everyone is going to succeed. I say that from a reality checkpoint because really I'd love you all to succeed, and I want you all to succeed. And not only that, you all can succeed, but you can only succeed if you put the effort in. There is no interest in the faculty for anyone to fail. That's our failure if you fail, as well as it being your failure. But as long as you listen to advice, as long as you work hard, consistently hard, studying from day one consistently, every night do a little bit of reading, you'll make it through and you'll succeed and you'll excel. But if you begin to get lazy and you don't attend lectures and you don't attend the compulsory practical educational seminars and you don't attend your exams because you will be choosing when you take your exams. If you don't come along to your exam, you're not going to pass it. And if you haven't studied, then you can't pass the exam. But there is no dictate from the university, from the rectorate, from the dean, anyone else saying we must fail this number of students. In fact, my dream is to be able to give every single student a 1 so they can pass with the honors diploma. There's no dictate saying I can't give every student a 1 or my colleague can't give every student a 1. We can give, if you deserve it, if you get the scores, it's not bell-shaped, it's not a Gaussian curve. If you have the knowledge, if you achieve that barrier, you can all ace every single exam. And we have students every year who achieve that red diploma. So let's make your year, your cohort, the first year that every student achieves red diploma. And you can do that. Absolutely, you could do that by working together, studying together. I love that you've already got a WhatsApp group. Stick together, study together, learn together, do things together, stay as a tight group, and you will all succeed, you will all excel.
Today, I received a message from a student who is here now, listening to you. And she got accepted to the first faculty, and she got accepted to other faculties like many other students. And I told her in person that the way I see it, if I can consult her, I consult her to go to the first faculty because it's the best. And for my opinion, best students should go to the best university. She was concerned because she heard that maybe there is an agenda of the university to drop out students.
This is a common rumor that's spread usually by students who have not been successful. It is not in anyone's interest for you not to be successful. It is, for the student, the ignominy of failure. You are all alpha achievers. To be able to get this position, you must be an alpha achiever. You've achieved in your life, you succeeded in your life to be able to be in this position to study medicine or dentistry. So we don't want you to fail. We don't want you to have that ignominy of failure, or to waste the money that you will spend on the tuition fees and life costs here. But it's not just you wasting money. If you fail in your first year, then it's a massive waste of money from us, because you will be doing dissection, human anatomical dissections on cadavers, human cadavers. These are unbelievably expensive, unbelievably expensive. You'll be doing histology slides and with fresh slide preparations, again, extremely expensive. All the teaching staff, all the teaching hours where my staff could otherwise be earning money doing research, getting grants and other things. If we were to purposely kick you out, we lose an unbelievable amount of money from just the first year wasting, which has never been needed afterwards. And then we lose 5 more years of potential income from you. We are a public university. We're a state university. That means money is not an issue for us. We're not here about making profits. We are not allowed to make profit. We're a non-profit organization. So any increased revenue that we make will go immediately back into studies, into education, into infrastructure, equipment, into you guys, essentially. So we're not here for making money. What we're here for is to create the best doctors and dentists in the world, full stop. So if you ask the students who are studying here, do they kick people out on purpose? That will be an interesting answer. If you ask someone who's been unsuccessful in their studies here, then you've got to ask yourself, why are they saying that? Why were they not successful? Most people are not going to admit that it's themselves. Okay, right, I didn't attend the lectures, I didn't attend the practicals, didn't even attend the exam, and then they kick me out. Why? How? It's not fair. How could they kick me out? You will be given the rules, you'll be given the regulations, you'll know what is expected of you. There are 3 main types of education: lectures, seminars, practicals. Do not make the schoolboy error of thinking that all education is not obligatory. By the rules, seminars and practicals are obligatory, they are compulsory. Lectures are not compulsory. Don't fall into that really easy mistake to think that lectures are not compulsory. Lectures are absolutely compulsory. Your exams have a subjective element to them, which means that your examiners are able to subjectively choose what grade they give you, or if they pass you or not. And we know who's been attending our lectures or not, who's been making the interest or not. So of course, there's a human element in that. The amount of information you gain from seminars so lectures is transmission of information, is giving you that core information. Seminars are just confirmation of knowledge. You can only really gain from a seminar if you've done the background learning to begin with from lectures or from your own reading. We don't want anyone to fail. Anyone at all. So we will help you, we'll guide you, you'll meet with students from the years above who will be from day one, you'll be allocated some students in 2nd year, 3rd year and higher, who will help guide you on the important and interesting areas. You'll have MedSoc. MedSoc is an organization, student union, medical student union, which is students who will be giving you tutorials and other information, and they'll be there to fight for you on all different things. So everything is laid up for you to succeed. If you're struggling, and it's natural to struggle, you are only human. You will only ever be human. You'll never be a god. I'm sorry. None of us are. And because you're only human, you will struggle at some point. And you have to understand that you are only human and that you are allowed to struggle, and that's normal, and that you can ask for help. One of the greatest strengths that you could ever have is knowing your limitations. If you don't know your limitations, you're going to cause damage, you're going to hurt people, you're going to kill people, your patients. So know your limitations and know that we are here to help you. So when you are struggling, come and contact us, contact student services, contact MedSoc, contact me, contact our student services colleagues, the psychologist, the counselor, the wellbeing officer. Get in contact with us, tell us you're struggling. We'll have various tools available to help you get back on track. And we also have something called consultations. Every professor, every teacher has to offer consultations. These are free for you, absolutely free, including the tuition fees, where you arrange with the professor a one-on-one, 5-on-1, or whatever it is that you, how many students want to. You have these private consultations organized so you can go and ask on any particular area of weakness from day one of your studies. And we love it when you do it. We love it because it shows you have interest. And it also shows us where we maybe have been weak in providing you with the adequate knowledge. So we can improve for all of you, and we can make sure that you gain the maximum knowledge you can do to really be able to achieve, to have that success for yourselves, for your future, for your patients.
Good. Students, do you have questions to Professor Brizman? Is there, let's say, more personal or interaction, or everything is done in, let's say, how many students are in a class, and is there more personal interaction between the students and the teachers?
So we have about one teacher every 3 students across the whole faculty, equivalent to. I'm dual qualified. I'm both a doctor and I'm also a dentist. I studied both. Medicine I studied here in Prague. Dentistry I studied many years later in King's College in London. I'm still friendly today with a number of my professors who taught me here. We became friends. There's people who, even as a medical student, we go for coffee together, go for a beer together with the teachers. There's only one teacher from King's College that I'm still friendly with. Even though I was already a qualified doctor, a surgeon, working those days, a mature student studying dentistry, there doesn't have that interaction. Here, you're in Bohemia, everyone's friendly. You must give respect to your teachers, and as friendly as we are, we expect you to behave with the cultural understanding of what it's like here in Europe, in Central Europe. You don't call your professors by their first name, you call them Professor whatever, as a term of respect. And when you go to exams, you always go in a suit, because that shows respect to the subject as well as to the teachers. And the teachers will be in suits or in other ways in their clinical clothes if they just come straight from their clinics. There is a very friendly atmosphere. Israelis are loved here. Other international students are loved here. We like the international aspect. We've always been international from the inception of this medical school, this university back in 1348, from the founding words of Emperor Charles IV. Yeah.
Students are asking, are there any scholarship programs for international students?
In short, yes. So we plan from this coming academic year that, number one, we'll be able to accept installment payments for the tuition fees. Then every year, there is scholarships for the top 10% of students. And it goes from the top students who, the very top students down to the first 10% will get a grading of scholarship available. And that's available to every student from the culmination of the first year. So from the end of the first to second, so as you start second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, sixth year, you'll get a scholarship.
I would like to ask you, not in order to compliment ourselves, but in order to reassure the students, how do you see our students in the university?
So I'm trying to stay politically correct here. We have students from all over the world. And there's definitely differences noticed amongst demographics. So mature students generally do better than students who are 18 years old, but not always the case. But if you look at a generalization, those students who have done a prior degree or have a little bit of life experience or have been to the army, other things, they generally do extremely well because they're a little bit more mature, they've lived a bit more life, they're a bit more dedicated into what they're doing. Students from certain other demographics do extremely well as well. So, for instance, our Israeli students are known to be of the top quality students here. German students as well do extremely well, and a few other nationalities also. And there are other demographics who tend not to perform that well. But I don't like to be negative. I like to be positive. I think everyone can do brilliantly. As I say, we only accept, there is such competition for the places available here. So that we only accept people who we believe are genuinely able to succeed throughout their training here, throughout the studies here, to get their degree and succeed in life and their career beyond. So every single one of you who has been accepted, we genuinely believe in you, and we believe that you can do it, and we'll do our best to help you up to a point. We're not going to do things for you. We'll match your interest, your keenness, your energy, but you have to do things yourself. We expect you to learn how to study, so that when you graduate, you're not going to have us there, but we want you to still be able to study and to find information and to be able to succeed beyond. So we do notice demographics. I don't think it's important to know specifically which ones are best and better, because you are all, every single one of you, very capable and absolutely capable to excel to the extreme.
Speaking of demography, where do the students come from?
We have about 85 countries represented in our 800 international students plus 3,600, I think it is, students altogether in just our faculty. We have a little over around about 4,500, let's say, students in total. We have these two parallels, what we call the Czech parallel and the English parallel, just because of the language which we're taught in. You are all coming to the English parallel, but we have international students in the Czech parallel as well. The international parallel, we have a number of Czech students who will be coming this year, as every year, Slovakian students throughout Europe, throughout America, Hong Kong, Israel, India, United Arab Emirates, Australia, New Zealand. I'm trying to think of all the different countries we've got. There's about 85 countries, I think, that I remember that are represented. So it's a wonderful metropolis. You get to meet all these different cultures and religions and races and everything else. What's important to know also is that I don't care. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what gender you identify as. I don't care what sexuality you identify with. I don't care how old or young you are. We have a student in her 5th or entering her 6th year now who's 67 years old. And we have students starting who are 17 years old. So what I care about is what's inside here. Nothing else. Inside there and inside here in your heart. Put in the effort and you've got the intellectual capacity to do it. That's what I care about.
I'll just read you through the questions. Is the tuition fee different if you have European citizenship?
No. Tuition fee is the same for everybody. And when you start, that tuition fee will remain until you graduate. So students starting this year, you guys will be paying 500,000 Czech crowns, which is about 18,000 euros, I think, or 19,000 euros. And you will pay that for the remainder of your studies. But if because of the massive, we all know about the Ukraine crisis, the energy crisis, everything else going on, it's hit every single country. So for students starting next year, then they may have an increase in price, inflation, everything else. But what we try and guarantee is that you won't have unexpected costs later on. that this is the fee you'll pay for all years of study.
Is it possible to continue and specialize in the United States after you graduate from Charles?
So we are accredited in all 50 states of the US, of America. We're one of only 20 medical schools outside of America to have California state accreditation. Our USMLE results are second to none. If you look at the last 3 years, 3 years ago, we had 100% success on first attempt. 2 years ago, it was 94% success on first attempt. This year, it was 96.2% success on first attempt. To put that into consideration, comparison, Harvard run on an average of about 93% success rate. So we beat Harvard at their own game. With this success and this reputation, anybody who has an American passport, American citizenship, is applicable for the full Article 4 federal loan, which is something like $25,000 a year. Anyone who has been a military veteran in the Army, we've also got the GI Bill, the American GI Bill. So all veterans and veterans' families will have $25,000 a year grant, as well as the $25,000 a year loan from the Article 4. This year, I had 4 graduates accepted on full scholarship postdoc to Harvard, 2 to Yale, 1 to Cornell, 1 to Brown's, and so on and so forth. All of full scholarships directly from us. We have relations with American institutions that you can do clinical rotations in America, and everything's ongoing to grow this. You, of course, have full accreditation here in Czech Republic for those who want to stay here. You just need to have the language skills if you want to work here as a doctor or dentist. And we have full accreditation across the whole of the EU. So the same applies for the whole of the EU. You can work anywhere within the European Union upon graduation without any extra exams. You just need the language. In the UK, Britain, there is automatic full registration, whether it's General Medical or General Dental Council, no exams at all. And the language is recognized because you've been taught in English here. And it goes on and on and on. And we're trying to negotiate with or lobby the Israeli government, who recognize the USMLE and recognize various medical schools. So we're already in negotiation with the university, with the Ministry of Health in Israel, that they will hopefully in the next year or two, hopefully automatically recognize our degree also, or your degree also. This isn't definitive yet. I can't promise this yet, but the conversations have begun, and there is understanding and interest from the Israeli side.
What about all over the world, clinical rotations? Is it possible to do some of them abroad?
Brilliant question. So we want to create the top doctors and dentists in the world, full stop. And to be a top doctor, what does it entail to be a top doctor? So we know from these USMLE results that we give you the best theoretical knowledge, the best in the world. But having theoretical knowledge is not all that it takes to become the best doctor or dentist. It also involves skills, involves clinical skills, ability to do things. It involves understanding of the healthcare system in which you wish to work. So, for instance, the British, where I'm from, the British NHS, National Health Service, we call it the Beveridge system from how it was founded, is very, very different to, let's say, the Czech system, which is based on the Bismarck system and now the DRG system. So to really be a top doctor or dentist, you need to have that real understanding of the healthcare system you're going to work in, the colloquial language of communication with those patients, the cultural understanding, the language of them. So the only way we can do that here is by enabling you to do clinical rotations in those countries in which you wish to work. Now we have a large, as you heard earlier, a very large number of countries represented from our students. Luckily, not all the students want to go back to those 85 different countries, but we're working on very hard creating relationship with hospitals and universities in a variety of countries, so that you, during your studies with us, can do your clinical rotations in those countries. For instance, Germany. We've already had a relationship with Germany. We have a network of German hospitals where students, either German or non-German, can do clinical rotations. And in fact, students who have a German passport will get can apply for full scholarship, 100% tuition fees from either the German hospitals or German states if they agree to work in those hospitals upon graduation. Israel, there's the Afikim program, which is coming online for funding, for scholarship funding. We have a network of hospitals from Clalit and from some of the national hospitals, state hospitals, that we have signed MOUs with and are signing contracts that will be enabling the students to do up to all or almost all of their clinical rotations in that country. So already students Israel can do clinical rotations in Israel. But there is a visit coming in September of our university to inspect the hospitals. And with the culmination of that, then we expect within a few months of that to have a contract signed for the Israeli hospitals to guarantee the quality of education of the clinical rotations of our students in Israel. So you could do essentially most of your fourth year or any clinical rotation. So in your fourth year, for instance, there are still some non-clinical rotations, which we do back here in Prague. Second semester is pretty much all clinical rotations. You could do that in Israel. The fifth year and the majority of sixth year to do, again, all in Israel in the accredited hospitals. So
what about students
theoretically,
who come from the UK?
So the UK UCL Medical School, the Royal Free Hospital Network, contacted me that they contacted me that they want to do, they want our students, to do clinical rotations in the UCL medical school system, which is ranked 3rd in the world, by the way, and that they want to then employ those doctors immediately upon graduation. We have other hospitals in Plymouth, in Swindon, in others in London, and up north in the UK that you can do that. And the network is growing as well. I was in King's College London again last week, and they want for exchange for dentists do in London. Majority of our students are employed before graduating. All of our dentists are employed before graduation. They're fought over by predominantly the British dental conglomerates. And we have job fairs here, so that many of the hospitals will recruit our medical students in their final year of study, so that when they graduate, they've got a job waiting for them in the UK straight away afterwards.
In Germany, the United States, it's all possible to do clinical rotations?
So Germany, there is a network of 6 hospitals that I can think off the top of my head, and that's about to expand. We've got further negotiations in Germany for more hospitals to be able to done. In the US, we partner with an organization called AMO, American Medical Opportunities, which has network across the whole of the States to enable clinical rotations in the States. The only thing to think about with the States is their insurance policy, that because medical insurance in America is so high, our European medical insurance doesn't cover the full amount. So students have to do their own separate insurance policy for doing their clinical rotations in America. It's not expensive, but there's an add-on as well that you need to think about for doing it in America. There are, where else we have? In Hong Kong, in Australia, in Greece, in Cyprus, in Portugal, it's a variety. We also have what's called the Erasmus program. The Erasmus is a European Union government-backed initiative, which enables all students, all of you, to do up to a year abroad in almost infinite numbers of countries. It's mainly for European countries, but you can also do Erasmus in, for instance, Israel. We have a contract for Erasmus. The students can come to Israel to do their Erasmus rotations, or I knew a student who went to Thailand to do an Erasmus rotation, which is definitely not Europe. But throughout the whole of Europe, you can do up to a year of your studies abroad. There's also the IFMSA, the International Federation of Medical Student Association, which allows you for your summer electives to go for months away. I did that when I was a student here. I went to Amsterdam and did cardiothoracic surgery in Amsterdam University Hospital for 3 months during one summer. So there's a variety of opportunities. We actively encourage you to go abroad because you need to get experience of other ways of doing things. And only with that experience can you decide which way is better, which bits of which way do you prefer, for you then to become the top doctors and dentists going forwards.
Do the students have the possibility to do research during their studies?
We are a research institution. We are a high output research institution. We actively encourage you to partake in research. We even offer an MD, PhD program. You mustn't lose sight of what you're here for. So you're here to get the MD, but if you have the capacity and the free time to do a PhD, you could do that simultaneously with your MD. Otherwise, I've had students of mine who have been first author in very high impact journal publications, first author as an undergraduate medical student, in very high impact medical journals. It's in your interest to study. We have infinite possibilities for you in different research areas to go through. So absolutely, you should do research, you should understand it, you should partake in it and get publications on your CV for going forwards. That makes a difference between you. In medical school, there's no competition because you can all achieve ones. You can all get this red diploma, as we call it, this diploma with honors. The competition starts when you graduate, because then you're competing with the world for those few positions available. And that's when these little things make a difference. So having publications makes a difference. So we really want you to.
We have a student asking, is it possible to work in the UK after Brexit if you're a Charles graduate?
A brilliant question. So I was against Brexit. I was very much Remain. I think it's ridiculous of Britain to leave the EU in this time. I mean, we won't go into my personal politics about it. However, there has been one benefit of Brexit for the UK in some ways. When we were part of the EU, then there was a law, an EU law, that EU citizens must have preference. So you could have two students sitting next to each other in class, getting identical grades, one EU, one non-EU. The EU student would have automatic full registration in the UK. The non-EU student would have to do the ORE exam, or PLAB exam, sorry, for medicine. Since Brexit happened, everyone is counted as a third party, everyone outside the UK, all of European. But there's still this European agreement and the recognition by the General Medical Council of the UK and General Dental Council of the UK of the quality of education that we provide. So what this means is they now recognize all students, irregardless of the country of origin, but they care about where the degree was done. And because your degree is studied here with us in Prague, in its accredited, recognized faculty, Britain no longer cares if you come from the moon or you come from Mars, as long as you've got the education that's being ratified, verified by Charles University's First Faculty of Medicine. So every one of your students, every one of our students, whether you're EU, non-EU, British or not, you all get, if you apply for it, automatic full registration in the GMC or GDC, the General Medical or General Dental Council in the UK. What I mean by that, and why I specify full registration, is that UK graduates don't get full registration. They get provisional registration. And they then have to do 1 year of service, at least 1 year or 1 to 2 years of service to get full registration. They must complete X, Y, and Z tasks, showing their accomplishments and their skills and knowledge. They recognize, the UK recognizes the quality of education from our university so that you automatically get full registration. You don't have to do that provisional registration year, that FY1 year. So you skip a year when you go back to the UK or go to the UK.
How do you see, this is a question of a student, how do you see the difference between the faculties of Charles University?
We are, if you know Oxford University, Cambridge University with its colleges, we are the same. We're the same, similar age, we're the same. We're all sister faculties. We're all offering a Charles University degree. There are many similarities. There are some differences in the way that we do it. The quality is of the highest quality for all the faculties. So I think with every one of them, I can recommend you, whichever one you choose or you go to, you've done a good choice. However, if you choose first faculty, you've made the best choice. We are the oldest. We were the original faculty. In the 20th century, with the expansion of medicine and the way things were done, so we expanded into now 5 faculties, 3 based in Prague, 2 based outside of Prague. And in English, we have a saying, horses for courses. So what they mean by that is different people require different things. So one of our faculties is based in the city of Hradec Králové, which is very difficult to pronounce. It's about an hour and a bit from Prague. It's a beautiful city. It's a university city. It's quite quiet. You can go around on bicycles, but it's a beautiful, quite quiet city where you can go around on bicycles. Whereas Prague is a busy metropolis, which has got, 24 hours is alive. There's always things going on. You meet all sorts of people, all types of people at all times. So it depends on what you prefer and what you like. And then some of the faculties will teach a different way of teaching medicine, like a problem-based learning system, which was extremely popular 30, 40 years ago. Now, many people moved away from it. We teach a more traditional way, which appeals to some people, which we've got a huge experience with, a success with. So it's really up to you. What I can offer from our faculty is that if you're one of our students, of course, you have all the curricular and extracurricular events available. If you're from one of our sister faculties, then all of our extracurricular, I will open up to you. I believe in offering all of you the best possibilities, and would love you to come and do some extracurricular activities, even some educational stuff. We have lecturers coming in from all over the world to lecture to you guys. We have all sorts of events that go on. So even if you're studying not in one of our faculties, in Palacky, which is an amazing university, in Olomouc and other ones, you're welcome to attend our events. We have the job fair that we have and the research conference annually. Is open to all students from any faculty from all across Europe. It's an international undergraduate job fair. So you can come from, if you're studying in Croatia, in Zagreb, or Lithuania, Kaunas, or wherever you're studying, come and join us. We'll have events you're welcome to. Of course, the first faculty staff, first faculty students are here. So you're going to get and know about things. First of all, you'll get first dibs at things in that respect. But we are very open. Education is for everybody.
Thank you. Do you have more questions for Eitan, for Professor Brizman?
Can I? Hi, Professor Brizman.
Hi, Diego. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I love your barber. I think we have the same barber.
I'm trying to follow your steps. But I wanted to ask because some of the students that we have in the panel, they are from Sweden, and I remember you mentioned a few times partnership with Karolinska University. I think it's relevant if you could mention something now for them.
Thank you very much. So from Sweden, welcome, very, very welcome. From a couple of things, and funding wise, I believe your government will help fund all of you with tuition fees. That's a standard thing which most of you should know about. And we're in the process of building also in across Scandinavia a network of hospitals for you also that you can do clinical rotations. The university is part of what we call the 4EU+ system, which is 4 big historic universities, us, Sorbonne in France and Paris, Heidelberg in Germany, Karolinska in Sweden, and in fact Geneva just joined us as well from Switzerland, where it is a relationship on the highest of levels to a point where studies are absolutely recognized. We have a very strong relationship with Karolinska. We have a lot of cooperation in research, in studies, in education, our exchange of staff as well as students all the time. So we have a number of Scandinavian students here. Would love to get more Scandinavian students here. We love you guys. So very, very welcome to you all. And we look forward to having you here. And when you are here, also, you can let us know if there's a particular hospital that you are interested in or you have contacts in. And with that, we can then go officially and try and make a relationship with them for you to have rotations there. So it doesn't have to be a big thing. If you individually have contacts with a hospital or specific hospital that you want to work with, what I can't do as one man is go and try and find every single hospital in the globe and try and make a relationship with them. But what you can do is you can come to me and my team and say, listen, this is a really key hospital for me, it's important. Every single one of you we will listen to and we'll do our best to help you with. We can then go and create relationships individually with those hospitals if it helps you.
Thank you so much.
Do you think it's possible for students to work during their medical studies?
Yes. It depends on capacity of each individual student. And also individual needs. What I don't want is for you to lose sight on what you're here for. And you're here to get a medical degree. You're here to become a doctor or dentist. So finance is important, of course, and we have bills to pay. When I was a student, I didn't work during semester, during the academic year. What I did was I studied very hard, took my exams as early as possible, and then went home to England. I worked as a nurse at Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital every summer, every winter, every break I had to earn the money to help pay for my life here. There are many jobs available. I mean, Prague is an amazing city. There's everything is possible. There's a big community, Israeli community here. There's a Scandinavian, big expat community here from every different type of person. There is a good nightlife here, and it's a very, very safe city. Very safe city. I think it's ranked the 6th safest city in the world. So working late shifts and all these things is absolutely possible. However, I would really like you to try and concentrate on your studies as much as possible. And this is why, you know, it used to be that you had to pay all your fees up front at the beginning of the academic year to be enrolled, but we're trying to allow installment payments for you to pay over installments throughout the year. The details haven't been finalized as a brand new thing, but it should be in place for next year, for when you start. I would genuinely advise you to make sure your studies are your priority. If you've got capacity to go above and beyond, brilliant.
Thank you. Students, do you have more questions to Professor Brizman? Thank you very much for joining us and dedicating your time to our students. And Israeli students in general, they do well not only in the university, but also afterwards, and also our international students from Sweden and from other countries. Thank you very much for this information session, and all the best to all of you. Thank you.
Likewise, congratulations. Thank you very much.